Good afternoon and welcome to Cooking with the Morrises. Today we are going to be cooking Chicken Alfredo and my Homestyle green beans. So come on, let me show you what we got. So I've already taken the liberty of opening the can of green beans. It was a commodity can, so it was a really large can of green beans. I have it here. Now, in my house, we're cooking for 11, so it's quite a large family, and you know, we want to kind of try to knock this out before the kids get home and everything. So I did go to the convenience store and pick up some smoked turkey necks right here, and I let these boil in chicken broth for about 2 hours, just so they're tender. And what I'll do is, when they cool, I'm going to remove the meat from the bone and place it into the beans. I've also cut half of an onion, so I'm going to put that into the chicken broth and the green beans that are in here now, and let that stew until they get tender. So we're going to put that there. Now, meanwhile, in this saucepan, I've got some oil heating for my chicken. I've taken chicken tenderloin strips and I've cubed them. So we're going to go in right now, and I'm going to remove some of this water from the sink. Bear with me just a second, and then I'm going to season and then put them into the hot oil. And the way you can test that they're hot is you can dabble it, and if it sizzles back at you, you know that you're ready to go. So give me just a second, and I will come back. And we're back. So I've drained the oil. The water off of the oil, and I'm going to go in with some of my seasoning. Have some Slap Your Mama. Family really likes it, so we're going to sprinkle some of that into the chicken mix. I also have some complete seasoning here. I'm going to sprinkle that in as well. All right. And then we want to try to do layers with this chicken Alfredo. So we're going to definitely start with garlic, because that is definitely something that we would use. And then of course we're going to have a little bit of salt, just a little bit. Okay? And we're going to give this a mix, and then we're going to put it into our hot oil and start cooking these. It's always good also to season this a little time before, and that gives it time for all the seasonings to marry. I do have some Sazon. I'm going to put some of this in here. It will turn the meat red as a finished product, but it gives a really good flavor. So I'm going to put just 2 packets of that in it and give that a mix. Turn my heat down. Alright. We're going to give this a mix. And then we're going to start in with our chicken. You'll hear a loud sizzle. There we go. You're going to keep stirring, okay? Keep stirring until these are pretty much not necessarily cooked through, but cooked through, okay? And you'll be able to tell. They'll turn a little white on you, and it'll let you know if they're almost ready, okay? But for now, turn the heat down. And as you can see, that Sazon gave it a nice golden color. And we are just going to let this sit for just a little bit. And while this is sitting, I'm going to stir my green beans and some of my chicken broth and my onions. I'm going to add a little seasoning to this as well. So in this, we're going to again add the complete seasoning. We're going to add some garlic powder. Okay. And some of this sloppy mama as well. Come out of that. All right. We're going to let that come up to a boil. Okay. Awesome. As that's cooking, and we're going to continue to stir the chicken. As you can see, it's starting to cook through. Meanwhile, this black back burner, I have some salted water with a little oil on the bottom of it. That'll keep my noodles from not sticking to the bottom of the pan. Normally, traditionally, I guess when you do chicken Alfredo, when you do chicken Alfredo, you have the long linguine noodles or whatever. But you know, when you're dealing with family and you're at home, it doesn't really matter. Just use what you got. So right now, we have an abundance of these elbow noodles, and that's what we're going to use. It's going to taste the same. I'm also going to make homemade Alfredo sauce, so I'll show you that in just a second. But right now we want to get this going as best we can. So it's getting there. Okay. And as this is cooking, this is what you call like multitasking, I guess. So as this is cooking, then I can go back over to my smoked turkey necks, and I can start to debone them and get the meat off of it and place them back into the pan. So that's what I'll do as everything else is cooking. So I am just deboning it, and as you can see, the meat just really falls off. All right, and just be very careful that you know no bones fall back into the green beans. So what's going on with your guys? What are you guys are going to cook for tonight? Have you got your plans already? Am I giving you some ideas? This is a real simple, easy meal to make. Doesn't cause for really a lot of effort. Just basically putting things together. That's all you're doing. And it seems to be something that my family really enjoys. And when you layer food like this, it's really really filling when you layer it. And also, it doesn't take much time, but when it doesn't take much time and it has all these layers of flavor, it seems as it took a long time. Just something that I really like. So I'm just going between the bones and getting all the meat out. As my folks say, I'm getting all the goodie. So, somewhere there it is. See, there's no harm when you drop. It's hot, but you know, when you're used to cooking, you can put your hand down in boiling water. It really doesn't really matter. Doesn't affect me much, but anyway, just getting all that meat out and putting it in there. Okay, as it goes, it's just, and again, this is just adding flavor. This will be a good Thanksgiving side dish, you guys, and if you guys stay up so late cooking all those meals, this doesn't take much long to do, and it's really a good meal. And it produces a lot of meat, surprisingly enough. I've got some ham end pieces set aside, just in case this didn't yield a lot. I think we're going to be good with it, so I may have to hold off on putting the ham pieces in as well. But, you know, if you wanted to add extra meat, you definitely could. I think for Thanksgiving, if I had to cook green beans, or for Christmas when everybody's coming over, you may want to stretch out what you have. And add a little bit more green beans and meat with it as well, but I think this is going to be just fine. Yeah. So I'm going to continue to take this meat off the bone and stir up this chicken. And as soon as it comes, the chicken comes to, it's ready to be taken off, I'll show you what we need to do next. I'll be right back. Alright guys, just want to show you real quickly what the chicken looks like. I think it's pretty much done because again, we've got to keep in mind that it's going to go in the oven as well, along with the noodles and sauce. So it's pretty much done. We don't want to overcook it. So this will sit here. Let me put the heat on it. I'm going to put the lid on it. Okay, so that's good. If you look over here, our water is boiling, so then we're going to go in with our noodles. And again, this is what my family had on hand. And I'm going to do 2.5 boxes of noodles. That's going to give me what I need. That's my timer going off, telling me that my oven's been preheated. And we will preheat the oven, or we preheated the oven to 350 degrees. And you're just basically everything is cooking separate, but you're going to be heating everything up with Alfredo sauce, the chicken, and everything. So that's what the oven is for. So right now we're going to just stir this periodically. So again, the oil and the water and the salt are in this boiling, but we want to stir it periodically just in case we have some of those noodles that's just kind of hard-headed and want to stick to the bottom anyway, even though you prepped it with the oil in the bottom of the pan, you still want to kind of stir it as well. So we're going to, this one here is on high, we're going to let that boil. It'll probably boil around 5 to 10 minutes. Let it boil. When they're tender, you're ready. All right, we'll come right back and we'll show you what you do next. And we're back. If you can look and see, the noodles are ready to come up to the top. As you can see, they're already ready. Saying, yeah, I'm ready, I'm ready. So they're ready. So we're going to cut that eye off. And then right here, we're getting started with the topping, which is our Alfredo sauce. Now, again, my family's kind of large, so we're going to start with a 1.5 stick of butter. And we're going to let that melt. Let me get the spoon. We're going to let that melt really good. And the reason why I have so much is because I need a lot to cover a large pan. So we're going to do this 1 stick of butter. We're going to let that melt. And once it melts and gets to the consistency of liquid milk, we're going to add in our whipping cream. Okay? So I'll be right back and I'll show what we do next. Alright, now as you can see, our butter is melted, so we're going to go in. I'm going to lower this heat just a little bit. Alright, we're going to go in with our heavy whipping cream. And it's 2 cups of heavy whipping cream. Okay, now as you can see, when we put this in here, I may need to add more, I may not, but you know, if you look at it, this is not the color of Alfredo sauce. So you get a whisk, and you whisk it, you have to whisk it really vigorously, as they say, to turn that butter. And once you turn that butter, you'll see that it's now starting to look like Alfredo sauce. Okay, so now, once this goes, turn up the heat just a little bit. And now what I want to do is I want to go in with about 2 heaping spoons, maybe 3 heaping spoons if you would, of cream cheese. So I'm going to go in like that. Alright. And I'm going to put that in there and let it go around until it melts. And this is softened cream cheese at room temperature. Okay? Very important. So once it gets in there, as it's going, you can then add the Parmesan cheese. Now, you know, it's kind of up in the air. I would much rather prefer having a block of Parmesan cheese and then grate it myself, but because of time and because I couldn't really find any, I just got some that's already pre-shredded. And in this, because I'm using it, I'm going to use a cup and a half of Parmesan cheese. And it's going to get mixed in here as well. And you'll see that once all this starts getting in here, that it'll start looking like Alfredo sauce. Okay? It's already starting to thicken up, so that's really good. We're finished with this for now. I want to start with some garlic. Okay. And just a little bit of salt. And I would like to use, but I don't see it offhand, add some. Is some salt, not very much, just a little, and then we'll go in and start stirring this as well. Leave it to me to make a mess. And the longer, see how it's coating the spoon, the longer you let it sit and stir, the thicker it'll get. Let's add some, see it's starting to bubble, that's what we want. Let's get some black pepper. The longer, again, like I said, the longer we let it sit, I'm gonna cut the heat off and just stir. And that's what you want. Those bubbles is what you want. Because when it bubbles, that's really letting you know that all the things you're putting in there are all marrying together, which is good. It's starting to thicken up. Can y'all see that? Starting to thicken up. And it looks like Alfredo sauce. As we are coming right along, we'll eventually take the noodles and drain them, rinse them off. And then once we rinse those off, we will apply them to our chicken mixture. I've also steamed some broccoli. And I went ahead and diced some of them and put those in with the chicken mixture as well, so they can have that as well. Like I said, this is it. This is done. And how easy was that? Very easy, very easy. It's very easy. So I'm gonna give it a taste. Get me a spoon. See if it tastes. Yep, it's perfect. That is awesome. That is homemade Alfredo sauce. So as this starts to set, you'll see, if you'll look down, it starts to set. You'll see the skim over it. It's doing exactly what we wanted to do. And we don't really need a lot. You'll see that a lot goes a long way, especially with Alfredo sauce. So I'm going to remove that from the heat. Take my I'm going to cover that for heatness. Keep that heat. And we're going to show you our noodles and our green beans. Our green beans are done. But if you'll look over here, the noodles are done. You see? Okay. And these are our green beans. They're going to be really hot. Let me see. Here we go. And this is what they look like. So all that smoked turkey, the smell here is amazing. You can see that. See that? All that meat. It's really filling. And so good. So good. So that's done. So we're going to drain our noodles, and then I'll show you the finished product when we pour our noodles and sauce and everything on the side. So I'll be right back. Offhand, add some here is some salt, not very much, just a little. And then we'll go in and start stirring this as well. Leave it to me to make a mess. And the longer, see how it's coating the spoon, the longer you let it sit and stir, the thicker it'll get. Add some, see it's starting to bubble, that's what we want. Let's get some black pepper. The longer, again, like I said, the longer we let it sit, come on, cut the heat off and just stir. And that's what you want. Those bubbles is what you want. When it bubbles, that's really letting you know that all the things you're putting in there are all marrying together, which is good. It's starting to thicken up. Can y'all see that? Starting to thicken up. And it looks like Alfredo sauce. As we are coming right along, we'll eventually take the noodles and drain them, rinse them off. And then once we rinse those off, we will apply them to our chicken mixture. I've also steamed some broccoli, and I went ahead and diced some of them and put those in with the chicken mixture as well, so they can have that as well. Like I said, this is it. This is done. And how easy was that? Very easy, very easy. It's very easy. So, I'm going to give it a taste. Get me a spoon. See if it tastes. Yep. It's perfect. That is awesome. That's homemade Alfredo sauce. So, as this starts to set, you'll see, if you'll look down, it starts to set, you'll see the skim over it. It's doing exactly what we want it to do. And we don't really need a lot. You'll see that a lot goes a long way, especially with Alfredo sauce. So I'm going to remove that from the heat. Take my I'm going to cover that for heatness. Keep that heat. Then we're going to show you our noodles and our green beans. Our green beans are done, but if you look over here, the noodles are done. You see? Okay, and these are our green beans. They're going to be really hot. You see. All right, here we go. This is what they look like. All that smoked turkey, the smell here is amazing. You can see that? See that? All that meat. It's really filling and so good. So good. So that's done. So we're going to drain our noodles. We're back. So let me show you what the finished product looks like. So after we've cooked our noodles and we've mixed in our broccoli and cooked our chicken, it's all in the casserole waiting for the piece de resistance, which is our homemade Alfredo sauce. And we're going to start pouring this in. I'm just going to spoon it out where I can and then pour the rest. I just want to make sure, since we got a large can, you can see that. And a little goes a long way. I have a daughter who doesn't eat chicken, and I spooned some of this out and put over her noodles and broccoli, and it was a lot. So it looks so good. Now, everything's really done. We're just going to put it in the oven to heat everything back up. And once I give this a good mix, you'll see that it's really well incorporated and coated. All the noodles are. Mixing this up, you can see how it's all, see how a little went a long way? That's a lot. So this will be enough to feed our crew for tonight. So let's see. So I'm just gonna mix it all up. So like I said, if you had bow tie noodles, of course, you had fettuccine noodles, of course, but we had macaroni noodles, and that's what we did. Really not, I don't think it would change the taste of anything. It's just what we had on hand, and you know, as a family, you just work with what you got. So, and that's what we do. We just work with what we have. So, mixing all this up. Thinking I've touched every piece, every corner at least, and trying to turn everything over. Once it heats up in the oven, it'll be there. So there you go. Now, what we'll do is we will put our parsley, which is over here. And it doesn't really add any taste, but it just looks well. So we just help out the broccoli and add our parsley flakes here. It's snowing parsley. Makes everything look good, don't it? Chicken, shrimp, you know, you can use many kind of meats with this. This is going to go in the oven, and we're going to put it in the oven just to heat it up, and I'll bring it back out and show you the finished product and do a taste test. Be right back. And we're back. It was in the oven about 5 minutes. We're going to take it out and show you what we got. This is the Morris family Chicken Alfredo. It looks good. Now, let's give a taste test. Okay, let's get us a bowl. We don't know what we got. There we go. Let's get us a little bowl. I'm going in. You see right here? Can you see this? If you can see that. There we go. See all the layers of. You see how it did go all the way through. It's really good. So let me just go a little bit right here, just enough. Use some of that chicken. There you go. Chicken Alfredo. All right. Let's take a bite. It's so hot. Good. Like you went to a restaurant and bought it. It's good. Till next time, to my family to yours. Have a good day. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, and share. All right. See you till next time.